Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Combat Sports UK MMA podcast. I'm Taylor, and I'm delighted to be joined by a new face. No, Nathan has not grown hair or a beard. It is John Boguslavski, all the way from Toronto, Canada. How are you doing, my friend? Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Not bad. What about you? How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Slow. I've got a winter cold coming in the next couple of days, but I'm just about keeping it together for the pod today. So obviously you're over in Toronto. It would be amiss of me not to get your thoughts on UFC coming back to Toronto, January, I believe, is it? How are you feeling about that?
January 20th. So exciting. We'll see. Finally back in Toronto. I was in the West in Vancouver a few months ago. Now it's in Toronto, and I feel like it's a bigger hub here. And it's exciting to see Strickland, his first title defense, see how he's going to do after destroying Izzy in a one-sided fight. See how he deals with Dracus. So exciting. A lot of Canadian fighters as well on the card. So, yeah.
I hope so. You hope so. There's a good couple of exciting Canadian fighters coming out there. But before we get there, we have to go through this Saturday night. So we are here to preview UFC 295. But the main event has obviously been switched. Now it's Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. So we'll jump straight in with that main event. How do you see it going? Do you see the samurai, or do you see the bow and arrow warrior picking it up?
It's tough to pick. Both these fighters, unbelievable. Pereira looks super strong at light heavyweight, not cutting so much weight to go to middleweight, and it's more like a traditional striker battle versus an unorthodox fighter who's also good at striking, but his punches and kicks comes from nowhere. While Pereira, that left hook is just could put lights out on anybody. This is a very intriguing fight.
Yeah, it's a fascinating fight, especially with Jiri coming off such a long break, and with the light heavyweight title just kind of being up in the air really since John Jones left the division. I mean, everyone kind of said that might happen, that it would just kind of bounce around and it might not find a home. I still don't know what the deal is with Jamal Hill, but that's a separate story. I mean, there's a lot of narratives going into this fight. I mean, does Alex become a 2 weight division champion in how many fights has that guy had in the UFC? 7? If that?
6 or 7, yeah. He started MSG. He started MSG when it was Izzy versus, was it Cannonier, I believe?
Yeah, because he knocked out Andreas Michailidis.
Yes, the Greek fella with a flying knee, very impressive. And since then had fought Silva, and then Strickland, and then got the title fight versus Izzy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
quick.
It's nuts. It's nuts how quickly he's gone from. I mean, I guess like there's the narrative when he came in that, you know, Izzy was kind of running out of contenders. You know, he was kind of starting to lap. Yeah, he was kind of starting to lap. I think he just maybe beaten Whittaker for the second time, or was he coming off the Cannonier win maybe? Just as Pereira was starting to come in. And you could see what the UFC were trying to do, right? They knew this guy was going to come in and he was going to start knocking heads all over the place if he was allowed to. If he was set up in the right matches, you know, I mean, to get Sean Strickland, obviously right now it looks like that victory has aged incredibly well. But at the time, you know, Strickland was kind of a bit in and out. He wasn't really taken that seriously in the division. I believe he was ranked. Where was he ranked?
Number 4. I feel like it was number 4 at the time when Pereira. But Strickland didn't like beat anybody significant from what I remember. Just he got a good winning streak and climbed up the rankings.
Yeah.
And he met someone who could find his chin, which Pereira did. But speaking of like a fast track, Jiri had a fast track as well. He had
3 fights, right? He's only had 3 fights in the UFC, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
He fought Uzdemir, knocked him out in the first or second round. then had one of the greatest 2-round fights versus Reyes.
What knockout that
Yeah,
was! That knockout
what a
was so
knockout.
bad. They were so
That was
vicious,
crazy.
man, wasn't it?
He didn't care. He's like, you saw everything that fight versus Jiri. He's like, I'm gonna strike with you. I'll take you down, and then you know what? I'll use my elbows in the second round. Elbow left, elbow right, spinning elbow, and then face first plant. I've never seen Reyes go down like that.
No, no. And
And
Reyes is a bit like Johnny Walker. I always remember that knockout with Johnny Walker where he kind of flopped all over the place. Reyes is
oh
a bit
yeah,
like that when he
yeah,
gets knocked out, so it almost makes it look real nastier than it actually was. But that
yeah,
Yuri elbow, like when you watch it in the replay, how he catches him and how clean it is, oh, it is nasty. It is really, really
beautiful.
nasty, but it is beautiful at the same time. Exactly. Exactly. So he's like, do you think this surgery is going to have any impact on him? Obviously, Dana said it was the worst shoulder injury he'd ever seen. Do you see that being a factor in this fight?
Definitely. It's
Mm.
interesting to see because exactly a year ago in November he relinquished the title because of the
Hmm.
shoulder injury,
Yeah.
and one of the since like Dana, like you said, Dana said one of the nastiest shoulder injuries, but a year later comes back and fights for a title. It's definitely gonna be interesting. How we'll see how that shoulder holds up after a year not being competition and going versus a guy like Alex Pereira, who has been active for the past few years. He fought, if you're going from Strickland or even from his first fight, he fought um the Greek fella, I forgot his name.
Michaelides.
Yeah, Michaelides, and then went straight on to fight Silva, then Strickland, won the belt versus Izzy, lost the belt versus Izzy. Right after losing the belt, fought in July versus Jan Blachowicz,
Hmm.
and now he's fighting again in November. So he's been active. He's been feeling power. He's been training with Glover. He's been in the cage with all these assassins, and we just have to see how Yuri's gonna hold up after a year not fighting,
Hmm.
going through a war versus Glover, his last fight, and coming back a year inactive, seeing how the shoulder would actually do in a cage fight with the how he's gonna throw his punches, his takedowns. Hopefully everything stays attached.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean it's really curious because the thing with Yuri is the only real footage we've got of him is that Glover fight. Even if you go back to his fights before that, it's round one finish, round two finish, round three finish, right? There's not a massive amount to pick through. So he's almost still kind of like an enigma and an unknown quantity. And that Glover fight is just it's something else. It's an absolute war, and I think you do wonder how it goes if Glover doesn't make that mistake in
Uh,
the fourth or fifth round. In the fifth round, you wonder how it
yeah.
goes, but oof, he's he's an animal.
But he found a way to finish. He
Yeah.
Glover might have made the mistake, but Yuri found a way to finish this. And I believe 12 of Yuri's 13 fights were a finish.
Hmm.
So he always goes for that finish. His IQ, lack of thereof, if we could say that, because Glover
Hmm.
didn't look amazing. Although it was fight of the year for me in 2022.
Hmm.
Um he knows how to finish. And that's what he's
Mm.
gonna be coming looking for. Versus Alex, try to finish him before Alex could land his hands on him.
You would hope so. You would hope so from Yuri's side, and I mean, you just like thinking through this fight. Like what comes down to me is I think Alex has got to be really patient, and I
Yeah.
think he's got to wait for something wild from Yuri and then try and catch him because I've no doubt really that I think if Yuri is going to stand and strike with Pereira, I think Pereira's got to use all of his experience. He's got to use his head movement. He's got to move his feet. And he's got to try and get out of the way of those real marauding attacks that really can come from anywhere, kicks, punches, which is
Elbows.
what elbows, everything,
Hmm.
right? Exactly, which is what Pereira struggled a little bit with in the second Izzy fight. Well, I mean the fifth or whatever number it
Yeah.
is, right? The one that he lost. He struggled a little bit with that, and he kind of got ahead of himself. He cannot afford to do that against Yuri,
Yeah.
and he's almost got to play on the outside and just play the sniper a little bit, I think, and let Jiri not feel his way into the fight, but kind of have that adrenaline dump, like you said, after being a year out. I
Yeah.
think from my thought, I think that's Alex's path to victory. Be patient, be a sniper, and just try and catch him with some straight shots as he comes being a little bit wild. How do you see it going down? And let's get your prediction. What do you think, John?
I see it as a decision
Ooh,
for Jiri
ooh,
Prochazka.
ooh, a decision.
I think we're gonna have
Decision.
a 5 round war. I think it's gonna go back and forth. I think a Yuri. I think Alex will come out strong. He's gonna walk him down a little bit as he usually does, and he'll find some of the punches unusual. And I think Yuri's gonna have a good mix of strikes and takedowns and wrestling. And yeah, he's also Alex is also going for revenge since he beat his mentor
His
training
coach.
partner Glover. So there's a little bit of a history there. How do you see it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to go Alex Pereira. I'm going to go.
Mm.
I don't go so specific, but I'm going to go super specific. I'm going to say round 3, knockout, straight right.
Oh, with his right hand this time, not the
Yeah,
left.
I think he's gonna fake with his left. I think he's gonna use a lot of fakes to draw Yuri out and just try and sniper him off, and then right straight down the pipe. A pretty fundamental punch, because sometimes that the way it goes in some of these fights, some of the fundamentals that really get the big knockouts and the big moments. So I just think Yuri's going to come in with something wild. I think Alex is going to be a bit too smart and a bit too wily, and just catch him with something straight. And I think he's going to use that left hook as a bit of as a fake, as a dummy,
Mm-hmm.
and then draw him in. So that's my prediction. Like I said, I'm going super specific, which I don't normally do. I've just kind of seen it in a vision somewhere. I don't know.
Interesting.
But let's go to the co-main event. Obviously, we are a UK-based outlet, so our focus is going to be on the main man, Tom Aspinall. I am very fortunate enough to have seen this guy live, and his speed is like we watched because Mohamed Makayev was on earlier in the night. He opened that card in London in March 22, the comeback card over after COVID. And Tom Aspinall was
Yeah,
as fast
as
as Mohamed
Makayev.
Makayev. And that is insane
That's
because they're
that
complete
is pretty
opposite
insane.
ends of the division. So, yeah, what's the thought over there in Toronto, in Canada? I guess you might pick up some stuff from the US as well. What's the thought on Tom Aspinall over there?
I'm a huge fan of Aspinall.
Hmm.
Um, I met with some I met up with some Brits a long time ago, and I was telling about Tom Aspinall. Like, yeah, he's gonna be the next big UFC MM, yeah, UK UFC star. That's for sure. And then
Hmm.
definitely getting for the heavyweight interim belt will be huge.
Hmm.
I really like him. He's for a heavyweight. Um, people like saying for a heavyweight moves like a middleweight. People like saying
Hmm.
that, which is like you said, he even moves like a flyweight apparently.
Yeah, he's fast.
His footwork is amazing and he very well rounded. He can wrestle, can do jiu-jitsu, can grapple, good striking, and his shots, although don't look so strong, it could be deceiving because he dropped Sergei in his last fight with an elbow.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, or 2 fights ago, and then he dropped in his last fight with a straight right. Didn't seem that strong, but knocked him down and got the finish.
Tybura.
Yeah. So, yeah,
And Volkov.
hit,
He's put
Volkov is his
Volkov in
most
trouble as well.
most impressive one. That was bulky Volkov too, because
Yeah.
before COVID he was a little bit skinny, but then he picked up like 20 pounds of muscle and 6'7" as well. Easily took him down, and especially how Volkov's been looking recently. I think he's like on four fight finish streak right now.
Hmm.
The win aged very well for Aspinall. Impressive straight armbar, took him down, just controlled the way he wanted to. So I am a big fan of Aspinall. Very well rounded. Um, yeah, interesting to see how he does against a heavy hitter like Pavlovich.
Yeah, it's one of those like being a British and English sports fan is very difficult because we always lose. Basically, we get to the big stage in our major sports and we lose, right? Unless your name's Leon Edwards or Michael Bisping. Even Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping is the story of British sport. That is how we do things, right? We just get our asses kicked for a long time. It never looks like it's going to happen, and then all of a sudden we pull it out of nowhere, right? That is British sport, right? We can't manage it in our other sports, but we did it. We did it there, right? The Rugby World Cup final in 2003 was the same. You know, we got a drop goal from Johnny Wilkinson, bang. You know, we haven't won the World Cup in God knows how long in football. So this is where this is where it's a worry. This is where for me it's got my nerves like on the edge. Like I'm anxious as hell, I'm tetchy as hell, because there is nothing I want more than Tom Aspinall to go out on Saturday night and get the win. But as you alluded to there, he is up against a heavy hitting monster. Like Sergei Pavlovich looks like he could eat my entire family and still be left over for dessert. Like honestly,
he's hungry.
He's just enormous, and he's a big Russian bear, and he moves fast as well. Like you see his footwork against, I think it was the Tuivasa knockout.
Tuivasa, yeah.
His footwork as well is great. Like it's good.
He has good footwork, but Aspinall has an edge on footwork. The way Aspinall moves is way better. Yeah. Sergei, he likes to walk people down, right? He wants to walk people down and move. He kind of move left, right. He wants to see how people react and try to catch the big punch. He is a scary dude. That's definitely. He's big. His face is square. You know that's a problem. He's a big Russian dude. He knows how to punch. He throws kind of wild, I'd say. It's not like he just throws with power. It's not very clean like Pereira, for an example, but it's just all power. And of course, if it catches your chin, it could be lights out. But yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well, wait till you ask my prediction.
No, I totally agree with you. I think that's a really good analysis of Tom Aspinall, and that's what he's got to use in this fight. That's what he's got to use. If he can get that side to side movement, kind of be picking off Pavlovich. I don't, the one question that comes into my mind is the short notice nature of it. Has he got, yes, these guys, they're athletes and they train and all that kind of thing, but have they got the
pace,
stamina? Yeah, the pace to really go at it for 5 rounds if needed, because you see, that is a possible path to victory for Tom Aspinall. Although the longer you're in there with Pavlovich, it gets rough because power carries. So that's where my mind is. I'm really, really trying to think about the paths to victory for Aspinall. Is he going to be able to get him to the ground? And if so, what's he going to be able to do down there? We've seen what Tom Aspinall is capable of. Like he subbed a fair few people, Arlovsky, Volkov, like we just mentioned before. So it is there and it is in his wheel set. Yeah, it's just one of those things. The British sports fan in me is just like, oh no, please don't lose, please don't lose, please don't lose.
How did Bisping win his title?
Yeah, exactly. He jumped in there. Right? He jumped in there.
The
same amount of time, the same amount of days as Tom Aspinall. 17, I think it is.
The good news as well is, Sergei's also on short notice.
Yeah,
they both got.
He was training as a backup, was he not? Was he a backup originally?
He was, yes. He was announced a backup. He was announced a backup for the last John Jones fight as well when he was fought.
Yeah.
Cyril Gane. I mean, they're always training. I'm sure Aspinall's training as well.
Yeah.
I don't think Sergei was a full training camp. These guys, these heavyweights don't cut weight to make.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how heavy Sergei weighted his last fight, but if you're around 250, 240, which is what both men are, you don't cut too much weight. You're in the gym training. It's not like a Volkanovski short notice, 13 days to fight one of the best pound for pound fighters in Abu Dhabi. So there's a chance. There's a big chance, I would say.
There's a chance.
And not to mention, like, Sergei's a big scary dude, but Aspinall is 13 for 13. He's 100% finishing rate, and none of those fights went past the first round.
Yeah. And I think he said in a couple of interviews, I think on Bisping's podcast, maybe that he's got Aspinall's got the shortest average fight time, and the only dude who's next to him in second is Pavlovich.
Pavlovich is in third. Yes, he's in third. So
But
the
it's one of
both.
those, right? After this last weekend, when they flashed up the graphic of the betting odds for the fight to go the distance, and it was like plus 1,200, right? And we almost
I
putting
don't.
ourselves
Yes.
into a full sense of security, and it does end up going the distance. Can you imagine? Tom just wrestles him for 5 rounds.
No. We're getting a finish. We're definitely getting a finish.
Right, so let's go. Prediction time. What are you saying?
Aspinall, round
Woo,
2 finish.
woo.
I'm still
Sub or
deciding.
knockout?
I'm still deciding. I feel like he's gonna take him down. He's gonna move around the big punches.
Yeah.
He's gonna get the reads in round 1. Round 2 is gonna get the takedown, and either gonna be TKO, or if he can't get it, it's definitely gonna be on the ground finish. I'm still undecided, sub or TKO, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be a little bit of a mix of both. It's gonna catch him in something. It's gonna try to finish him and
And
hooking.
how do you think that first round goes? Do you think Tom just literally, like you said, gets his reads, tries to stay on the outside, and then goes for it in round 2? Or do you think round 1's going to be a bit of a barn burner?
A little bit of a barn burner. How I saw like in previous Aspinall fights, he's usually his footwork, steps in, steps out, steps in, steps out. When he steps in, throws in those punches. And he gets to read, try to read Sergei how he's gonna counter. And I think Aspinall is just a little bit too fast for Sergei, and he'll end up having a good read for a takedown. He'll probably miss a takedown or two. He'll probably get a takedown late in round 1. And then he'll figure out how to get it done. Although Sergey did lost by a TKO versus Overeem in his UFC debut, and he got taken down and got TKO'd.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So you can come back. You predicted Tom Aspinall to win. You're in every week.
Yeah, let's go. How do you see it?
This one? Where am I going to go with this one? Like,
Are you gonna be biased?
of course, I'm 100% biased,
Yeah.
but it's almost like I want to play it, right? I want to play it and say, yeah, Pavlovich is going to win, so that secretly, because I've said it, that means that then Aspinall will go and
you
win.
jinx
But...
it. Okay. Yeah.
Try it anyway. I don't know. Yeah, I think path to victory for Aspinall is pretty clear. Try and get on the outside and try and get him down, and either try and wear him out or look for a submission finish. But if Sergei Pavlovich catches him, oh goodness gracious me, yeah, oh god, I don't know. I want to believe, but I just don't want to be disappointed.
Well, I think we'll have an amazing fight no matter what. I think
so.
Shortest, like you said, shortest average fight time between both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go Tom Aspinall submission first round. Bang.
Okay, nice.
In the bag. I'm gonna go. He likes a rear naked choke, but Pavlovich has no neck. So it's gonna be something with the arms. Something with the arms. There's gonna be a tangle. Something's gonna happen, and he's
I could see a heel hook coming too. A heel hook?
Yeah, could be.
I could see that.
Could be.
Oof. We also, I don't think anybody tested Sergei's chin. Has anybody landed flush on Sergei's chin?
Yeah, I mean, Overeem didn't really, did he? Tony Vassar, I think, got a couple of shots in before he just hit the canvas.
Yeah.
Tony Vassar hits pretty hard.
He hits it hard. They were, I guess, but I guess his chin is tested if it's Tony Vassar to hit.
Right. So two Tom Aspinall wins. First round, second round. Let's go, Tom Aspinall. We're putting the vibes out there. Right. Notable mentions on the card. We're keeping it relatively short today because we got another one to record right after this. I'll throw it to you first. What other notable mentions do you want to bring up from this card? What are you most looking forward to other than the two main fights?
My favorite division is the lightweight division. I think there's no misses there. Matt Filova versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Filova is from New York. Last time in MSG, knocked out Drew Dober, who had a chin of iron apparently, and got it done.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And Benoit has been looking remarkable.
Yeah.
One of the best French prospects, and loves to bang. So I think that's going to be a potential fight of the night. Potential fight of the night for those people. And both have knockouts, both love to bang. And I'm MSG, and for Lola's hometown, Saint Denis wants to be an upset, so that's going to be
Yeah.
definitely something to look after. That's who I have my eyes on.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm really. This is going to sound quite out there, but I don't see this fight as competitive at all. I
Oh
think
no.
I think Benoit Saint Denis is gonna steamroller through the steamroller.
Nah.
Honestly, after seeing that guy, he's just an absolute animal. Like,
Yeah.
apart from that one fight that he stepped up on, who was it against? Eliseo dos Santos or something, or Zaleski, something like that. One of those names. Apart from that fight, where he did kind of get. Because that was the fight with a really dodgy referee in Abu Dhabi or something, I think, where everyone was like, "Why haven't you not stopped this fight?"
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Apart from that,
Dos Santos. Yeah.
he's just been an absolute murderer. Like a murderer, like what he did to Ismail Bonfim, who's got all the hype in the world. What he also did to Moises in the last Paris card. I think the only thing counting against Saint Denis here is that it's quite a quick turnaround. If you consider he fought in September in Paris, but dude's a
Yeah.
paratrooper or whatever he is, so he doesn't like it. It's not going to phase him. Yeah, I just think, honestly, don't think this fight. Hey, I'm probably going to be totally wrong, but for me, I just don't. I think he's going to go straight through him. To be honest.
I can see that too. I just think
Mhm.
Fro's a bit more tougher, and he has the
Yeah.
motivation from fighting in his hometown. But Saint Denis is a beast. He's definitely gonna, like you said, try to steamroll the steamroller.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's what's going to happen, and he's going to jump out as a massive contender. My one to watch, one that I'm looking out for. Look, I really enjoy Mackenzie Dern. I love watching her fight. I've loved watching her fight since she debuted in the UFC. I think I love her grappling style.
Yeah.
Like I'm a jiu-jitsu guy myself, so I really enjoy watching that. I love the transition she makes, and she's always looking for a submission. She's always looking to finish the fight. She's obviously made gains on the feet. When you look at actually the turmoil that she's going through in her life, with her divorce and the Ruka gym closing down, she's working against a lot of adversity. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her perform. But we never know what Jessica Andrade we're going to get, so that's
Yeah.
always
Exactly. Yeah.
quite exciting. So no,
She moving.
she's my pick of the night. She's my other pick, who I'm looking forward to. I also want to direct the viewers towards Mark O'Madsen. We got an interview with him on the channel. That, if you haven't watched it, is a tremendous listen. Mark really opens up a lot about what's going on with his wife and his family. He's had to change up his training and come back to Denmark from training in the US. Really cool story. I don't think his style is the most fan-friendly style, but you could really buy in on the story. So
But it
everybody
works.
goes. It works exactly. It works.
Works.
It's effective, and he could be another one to watch out for in your favorite division there. So yeah, it'll be a super exciting card. Super
And
exciting card.
isn't he Olympic or World Championship
Yeah, Olympic. Yeah.
Olympic wrestler champion? Yeah. So
He
it's
is.
this
He is.
accolades.
He is.
He belongs. Maybe striking's
Yeah.
right there. Like Durham, maybe he could get better, but
Yeah.
he's
I think
he's good. He knows how to get people down.
Yeah, so he's one to direct everybody towards on the channel. We've obviously got Diego Lopez and Pat Sabatini opening up the main card. Diego Lopez is an exciting little fighter, isn't he?
He's interesting. I think it's the hair.
Yeah.
It's the hair, definitely. He definitely deceived me the first time he came out and he fought Ilosev. I was like, who is this guy? Looks like they found him somewhere in the middle of the street, but yeah, for a jiu-jitsu guy, he's amazing. He's really good transition wise. He always goes for finish, especially in that first fight in the UC for him.
Yeah.
Tried so hard to get the finish, but that Russian guy was just a stubborn guy.
As they are, as they tend to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is your preview for UFC 295 going down this Saturday in Madison Square Garden. There is nowhere else to look this weekend in terms of mixed martial arts. That's where your eyes should be. we are going to jump
Absolutely.
off. I would like to thank you, John, for jumping on and sharing your thoughts with us today, and just let the gods
Let's go.
pray on Tom Aspinall because you've called it. Good luck getting your UFC Toronto ticket.
Oh yeah.
Next
Yeah, yeah.
week, I think they come out or something.
Friday.
I hope that'll
Friday.
be
Yeah.
Friday. So I hope that'll be a hell of a card for you as well. So everybody, enjoy the fight. Thank you all so much for tuning in, listening. Like, subscribe, drop us a comment, ring the bell, do all the good stuff, and make sure you come back here for the next pod. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.